Welcome back to Brandon Sports, everybody. Hope you're having an amazing day. I'm here for my Friday Night SmackDown review for January 16th, 2026. Before we get into the review, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more great content that'll be headed your way. Now, my overall thoughts on the show was that it was a really good show for me. This is probably the first SmackDown for me that went smoothly and was actually a good show. I think it was the other week before last when I said the show was actually good. The 3 hours went by, but it was still like a boring show. This show was actually good. It went by pretty good. Obviously, this is very, very early from when we usually do the SmackDown reviews because of it comes on at 8 to 11. This time it was on at 3 and was over at 6. So basically, this was a good SmackDown. It was a good pace of a show. There were some parts I didn't like about it, but the overall feeling of the show was good. It wasn't a bad show. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. It was just good. So we kick off SmackDown with Joe Tessitore and Corey Graves. Now, I was wondering where Corey Graves were. I was like, man, where's Corey Graves on Raw? They have Wade Barrett over there. Where's Corey Graves? But it's good to have Corey Graves on SmackDown with Joe Tessitore. Looks like they switched both of them for this particular week. We take a look at last week's SmackDown. We get Randy Orton arrives to the arena, followed by Damian Priest and then Solo Sikoa. Matt Cardona is shown arriving at the building. We get Drew McIntyre makes his entrance with a special bagpipe introduction. Thought this was good. It was a good way to introduce your new WWE champion. Even though I'm still skeptical about how everything is going to be smoothed over and how this storyline is going to go, but overall, I like the presentation of Drew McIntyre getting his entrance because he is your new WWE champion, so you treat him like one. To me, he got pyro, which I'm glad he got pyro. Again, this company needs to do more pyro, start having more entrances with pyro, start the show with pyro, welcome us into the show like it's entertainment spectacle, or whatever you want to call it, however Vince McMahon used to phrase it back in the day. But nonetheless, this was a good entrance for Drew McIntyre, him being presented as the new WWE champion. I thought it was good to have him give him his own entrance. He makes his way to the ring and soaks up the old Drew McIntyre. They're chanting his name, obviously. Chants before grabbing the mic. He was like, I prayed for this and it happened. He always says this, I prayed for this. Everything that he does that's sinister or cynical, he always says, I prayed for, which I actually like that he continues to say his line. I prayed for it to happen, even though you had to do so much to get there, but he said he prayed for it and it happened. Drew says to start things off, he says the last few years in the UK have been rough, but if anyone can carry the load, it's him. He admits the love he's gotten since winning has been nice. Then, like that, he turns on the crowd. He tells them straight up, screw you. He says when he got fired, nobody was there. When Roman Reigns screwed him over, nobody cared. When CM Punk was causing problems, fans were cheering Roman and doing the yeet chant, and then everybody starts doing the CM Punk chant, CM Punk, then everybody starts doing the yeet chant, then Roman, chanting for Roman Reigns. When Cody and the referees cost him, there was no hashtag support. He says 99% of the fans only showed up after the fact. Drew says the only person he needs to thank is himself. He thanks himself and tells the crowd they should be chanting, thank you, Drew. And then they proceed to chant, thank you, Drew, which I thought is like you're manipulating the crowd to chant thank you. Usually they would see through that, but because they're overseas, they're not really overseas, basically once a year. But he basically got you to chant, thank you, Drew. Then he says there's one person he needs to address, the former champion. He pauses and says the word former. Cuts like a knife every single time. He kept saying former in the microphone because obviously making fun of the fact that Cody Rhodes is no longer WWE champion. Drew says he knows Cody is getting ready to demand a rematch, but he made sure there was a clause in the contract, no rematch. Cody has to work his way back up. He says the vanilla quarterback one era is over, and now everyone has to deal with the dangerous, unpredictable Drew McIntyre era. Now, I feel like they added that last minute when they says that in the contract there was no rematch clause. I feel like they added that later on. I don't think they really did that in the beginning because I think they would have said that in the beginning. Unless they're trying to give you a little surprise, Cody Rhodes is not going to challenge. Because if you did look at the report that was reported by Dave Meltzer in the Wrestle Observer, basically saying that Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, the company was tiring on it, allegedly, and that they didn't want to do it. Triple H didn't want to do it, as a matter of fact. But I don't believe that. I believe that the fans and the frustration of that, then they said, okay, we're not going to do it. But I think they added this last minute because they would have said something unless they were trying to get you a little surprise again. I think they added this at the last minute, but it was a good thing so everybody knows, the quarterback one is not going to get his rematch right away, which, again, we'll see where this goes. But so far, Drew McIntyre, he's done a phenomenal job. He just wasn't getting the championship. Now, again, for me, I told you guys, I wanted Cody Rhodes to continue to carry the championship because I wanted him to face CM Punk at WrestleMania in night 2. I thought that would be a much better main event for Cody Rhodes. He would lose the title, thus turning him heel, coming back, taking a long break, SummerSlam, do like Roman Reigns did, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Cody Rhodes will come back with black hair, call CM Punk the title. CM Punk will lose title to whoever he would lose the title to. That's what I wanted. I wanted CM Punk and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. But we'll see again how the story is going on. Drew McIntyre is doing fine. I have no problem with him. I just want to see how the story is going to continue to carry out. So we move on. Randy Orton's music hits. Drew asks Randy if he's out here to congratulate him. Randy looks around and tells Drew and everyone in London they don't like each other at all. He says he's not there to congratulate him, but to remind him that months ago Drew had the chance to kick his head through the announce table and chose not to. Randy says when he gets the chance to return the favor, he won't hesitate. He says he's beaten Drew for the title before and he'll do it again, thanks to the 3 most dangerous letters in sports entertainment, RKO. Thought this was a good back and forth between Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. It was short and sweet, but overall, you have Randy Orton now playing mind games with him, basically saying, I'm going to hit you with the RKO, I'm going to beat you again. Thought this was good, have Randy Orton come out instead of Cody Rhodes coming out. This is important. You don't have Cody Rhodes come out, because he even said, Cody, I know you're backstage. Now, not having Cody Rhodes comes out, just let Drew McIntyre have his moment. So don't bring Cody Rhodes out and cut a promo, then the fans boo him because they're chanting for Drew McIntyre. No. They're not going to boo Randy Orton. They're going to boo Cody Rhodes if he tries to mess up Drew McIntyre's thing. Then people are going to say, well, you always have him come out. Every time somebody says about him, he comes out. So it was a good thing for them just to relax. Now, it would be nice to see Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre running back, because the last time they faced off for the W title was during the 2020 when there was no fans. And Randy Orton beat him for the W Championship. Then I think Drew got it back, or however else he got it back. But I remember Randy Orton did pin Drew McIntyre. I think after that, The Miz might have cashed in on Randy Orton again. Something happened. It's been so long. Obviously, during that time, I took a break from watching it at that time because it was just horrible without the fans. But I remember Randy Orton beating Drew McIntyre. But this was good of Randy Orton. So after that, Jacob Fatu's music hits, which I'm glad Jacob Fatu is back. They needed the star power on SmackDown to get him going. To get SmackDown going, matter of fact. But I really do like Jacob Fatu. So his music hits, and he heads to the ring. Drew tells Jacob Fatu to slow down. He says it wasn't me. I didn't have nothing to do with it. Obviously, the attack of Jacob Fatu when he got hurt and all his teeth fell out, he just left to get dental surgery and oral surgery, stuff like that. So, but now that he's back, he doesn't know who attacked him, so he's coming to Drew McIntyre because obviously that's the last person who he's going to be in a feud with before he got attacked from behind. So he's telling him to slow down, but Fatu punches him and they brawl on the floor. Fatu sends him into the announce table, but Drew fires back and throws him into the ring post. Now, when he throws Fatu into the ring post, he just stands there. So I'm like, oh, he's kind of a little bit indestructible, a little bit. Let's go back to that being indestructible since he's been gone, and now he's fresh, and yes, he's been gone for so long. Now he could be fresh. He don't have to sell a little bit. I actually like that part. That was a good detail that they put in. So he hits his head against the ring post. He just stands there. Drew tries to climb over the barricade. Fatu stops him. Drew lands an elbow, and Fatu keeps chasing after him. After that, The Miz, Randy Orton's just standing there. He looks like he's looking out how Christian used to just look out with his hand, put his hand over his eyes and just look. Randy Orton is doing that. He's basically looking at them fight each other, and then The Miz comes in and does a skull crusher finale on Randy Orton before their qualifying match starts. Obviously, the number 1 contender qualifier, Randy Orton versus The Miz. The match ends. The Miz is going for another skull crusher finale, but Orton counters with a snapmare. Miz avoids the RKO and nearly steals it with the roll-up. Orton quickly recovers and catches The Miz with the RKO for the 3 count. The winner of this match is Randy Orton. Now, we all knew Randy Orton was going to win. We know The Miz was going to win, but this was just a good babyface versus heel. The babyface is going to win a match, and the babyface is going to face a heel, and the babyface is going to go on to go face another heel. But this was good and all in all. I had no problem with it. Again, realistically, why would The Miz be here when he hasn't been winning matches? He's just been losing and losing, being embarrassed by Joe Hendry, being embarrassed by R-Truth. But I get it. It's the WWE Championship. Jacob Fatu is not in this. The Miz is obviously a good wrestler. He's going to step up and be in this situation. So, do you want to see it? No. But then again, The Miz is a good heel. Again, I respect The Miz. He's a Hall of Famer in his business, so good for him. Randy Orton was this match. We all knew Randy was going to win. I predicted it last week in my predictions that Randy Orton was going to win this match. So we get to the back. Drew is hugging his belt. As he heads to the back, Ian Dragunov comes on screen. And that's when I'm just like, come on, man. Like, what is this about? Like, I understand you want to get to the championship, but when I first saw this, I'm like, why are they doing this? Because I'm like, now I see Drew with Randy in the ring. Then I see Drew with Ian Dragunov in the back. So I'm like, okay, they're obviously, at the time now I'm thinking about it when I'm doing a review, he's obviously seeing everybody who he's going to try and face at the Rumble who he might face. So at the time I'm not thinking about it, but now it all makes kind of sense of what they're doing. But anyway, Ian Dragunov stops him and says it's nice to finally speak face to face. And I'm like, this is just horrible timing. In storyline, this is horrible timing because he's trying to run away from Jacob Fatu. Ian Dragunov says he's going to beat Sammy and move one step closer to the title, adding that he won gold on his first night back, but he doesn't fight like a sane man. Drew says he doesn't care, which I agree with him. I didn't care nothing about this. Because now he's being chased by a madman. He tells Ian Dragunov he'll see him at the Rumble if he wins. Drew adds that he didn't knock out Jacob Fatu's teeth, but he would knock out Ian Dragunov's teeth. I actually like that part. I actually really like that part. Because I've been telling you guys, listen, I'm not hating on Ian Dragunov. I just don't like the fact that, like, he's just some astute dude. Like, we just have to just, oh, he's such a good wrestler. We have to just be behind him. Like, no. What's his character and what's his story? Who is Ian Dragunov? I keep asking you guys that. The same thing. When I used to watch Vince Russo's reviews. When he would say, Sasha Banks would say she's the boss. And then he would say, what is she the boss of? And they never addressed that. And I always laughed at that because I'm like, yeah, she says she's the legit boss. What is she the boss of? Even in AEW now, she's the CEO. What is she the CEO of? You get it? But, again, I like this. Ian Dragunov, he's a good wrestler. I have no problem with him. I just get annoyed because there's no character behind him. And what's the point of caring about Ian Dragunov if there's no character? The same thing I say about Johnny Gargano and anybody else. When we come back from commercial, we're back with the Wyatt Six. Yes, the Wyatt family, Wyatt Six. Howdy asks Solo if he really thinks he stole their light, saying he only inherited what it represents. He says the lantern was never meant to be a weapon. It was carried through the darkness, so the darkness wouldn't carry them. It doesn't belong in the hands of someone who misunderstands its purpose. Howdy says it will return to them, and they won't rest until this is finished. Now again, I appreciate, quote, Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy. I appreciate the fact that he's honoring his brother. I keep saying it every week. It's not to be disrespectful at all. It's just the fact that, again, trying too much to be like Bray Wyatt when it's like, man, just be yourself. I keep saying that every single SmackDown review I do. I have nothing but respect for the family. Nothing but respect for the situation and what happened, but he has got to have his own presentation instead of sitting in a rocking chair trying to be like Bray Wyatt, because he's never going to be like Bray Wyatt. It's not going to happen. It's no disrespect, but it's just not going to happen. He's not Bray Wyatt. Again, I understand you're paying tribute, but it's not working. It's just not working. I feel bad because it's like he's really trying his best. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. Like I said, I'm not at all. But at the same time, it's like, come on, man. Like, let Uncle Howdy be the presence. Let them put the mask on when you're cutting a promo. And then when you're in the ring wrestling, you can take off the mask. You get it? So it's just, I don't really care about this. I don't really have anything to say about this because it's the same thing I've been telling you guys last week. I don't care about the YS6. I care about Solo Sikoa and the MFTs, Tama Tonga and Tangaloa. Tala Tonga, who is Hikuleo, and JC Mateo, they serve no purpose, even though they have a fantastic entrance. All of them, the MFTs together, their entrance is great. I just don't care about the tag team in itself. But the backstage segment, again, the vignette was cool, but again, nobody really cares about the Y6 no more just because of the break that they took. And after that, the whole lights turning off, we all know you under the ring or something like that. It's just, like, everybody's under the ring, so I'm not trying to disrespect that point. Because I actually like when the lights go off and certain people appear, like The Undertaker, for example. But this is not that. But again, Y6, it's over. I don't really care about it. I don't even know if they can go to Raw. They just might be stuck on SmackDown. But they have to do something interesting with this group, though. If you're having them feud with the MFTs for about 6 months, enough is enough. So Joe Chestatore and Corey Graves shift focus to the women's tag team division. Backstage, Bliss is shown with Charlotte Flair walks up. Bliss says last week was awful. She lost and Nia and Lash got inside her head. She says she felt completely alone and asked Charlotte if she was really sick. Charlotte says she was. She asked Bliss if she realized how many title opportunities she's already passed up for the sake of their team. Not so fast. Let me cut this promo for a second. Not so fast. You ain't pass up on all title opportunities because y'all wasn't doing nothing. You and Bliss were together, and after that, she wasn't going after the Women's United States Championship. They weren't going after Jay Cargill, the women's title, or Tiffany Stratton. I mean, you lost at WrestleMania, then you became a tag team. Everybody started cheering you. But I understand, in storyline-wise, they're going to say, well, I passed up so many opportunities. And then Bliss says the same thing. Bliss says, you know how many ones I passed up? She said, well, you got a United States Championship match last week without her. Bliss and Charlotte both ask each other if they truly have each other's backs. Lash Legend and Nia then approach Charlotte, but Alexa Bliss walks away. Nia says Bliss always plays the victim and everyone feels sorry for her. Charlotte fires back by saying she doesn't trust her either. She doesn't trust either of them and warns them they won't like her response if they try to solicit any advice again. Again, I don't really care about this at all. I don't care about Nia Jax like that. It's a good thing. She's actually in phenomenal shape. But this is great. I actually like the new presentation. I just didn't care about this backstage thing because, again, you're wasting time with the tag team division and not doing anything with the women's world championship division. Same thing with Raw and SmackDown. I've been saying this countless times. It's kind of getting frustrating that you have so many star talent, but the world championship title scene on the show is being neglected. That's not a good look for the company. So we get Charlotte Flair and Bliss versus Kiana James and Julia. So now I'm going to say timeout. So Julia comes out with Kiana James. I'm thinking this is a one-on-one match. Maybe this is Julia versus Charlotte for the United States Championship this time. And Kiana James is out there. And Bliss is going to follow behind her. Then they're going to have Julia beat Charlotte. Give her a nice win. And then I see that this is a tag team match. It's Charlotte Flair and Bliss versus Kiana James Julia. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind is, again, have they not been listening to the audience? Why is Kiana James still with Julia? Come on. They have to do better than this. She comes out with a mini skirt and a pocketbook, a purse, on her arm. Then Julia does something in her edge where she takes her mask off. She takes the mask off. And then she hands it to her. I think she puts it in her pocket. Like, what are we doing? She puts it in her pocketbook. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, who cares about Kiana James? It's no disrespect to the woman, the person behind the character. I'm just talking. I never try to disrespect the person, the actual person. I'm talking about the character and the booking. Who cares about this? Julia will be fine on her own. If they want to give her a manager, give her a mouthpiece that would actually be better for her. Kiana James is not a good mouthpiece for her because she's a wrestler. Get her an actual manager. This is not the Secret Harvest where they all wrestle. Like, Kiana James is a manager, but anytime Julia needs a tag team partner, they put Kiana James in there. It's just not good. This is not good at all. They should not be in the ring together. Julia needs to be on her own. Same thing with Stephanie Valkyria's on her own. Let her cut her own promo. You're afraid that she can't speak? Again, put the letters on the screen like you do for Asuka, Shinsuke Nakamura, Kairi Sane, and everybody else, and Io Sky. You do it for them. Why you can't do it for Julia? If you think she can't cut a promo. There's no reason for Kiana James to be her manager and partner. They need to salvage this entire thing. We get to the end of the match. Charlotte avoids a round kick and lands a forearm, each one in return, then fires back with a boot. James tags in and drops Charlotte with a knee. Bliss tags in and hits Sister Abigail for the 1-2-3 count. I actually like when she does Sister Abigail. The only thing is that when Bliss takes her in for Sister Abigail, she stares at the camera for too long. As soon as you put her in, stare at the camera and then do it. Count 1, 2, 3, boom. Then do it. She stares for too long. But that's a little nitpick. But after this match, this is where I kind of got frustrated with the show. Not just the overall, because the overall show has been fine so far. But my problem comes to this. After the match, Nia Jax takes Julia's head and slams it into the ring. Like on the apron, right? She slams her head on the ring, right? Julia falls back. Lash Legend and Nia then go in the ring after Charlotte Flair, right? But here's the problem. As soon as they both step into the ring, Charlotte Flair was literally standing behind Bliss. They punched Bliss in the face. They literally punched her in the face, and Charlotte just standing there watching her get punched. So they just walked in the ring like nothing. And then just punched her in the face, and then after that, Charlotte Flair just stood there. Then she tries to grab Nia Jax. After she grabs Nia Jax then hits her, throws her into the ring post, but it was so delayed. This was a whole entire botch fest. This whole thing was botched. She throws her into the ring post. After that, she hits her arm. She goes out the ring all slowly, whatever. I don't think this was Charlotte's fault at all. It was a huge delay. She didn't have her about head to throw it in the ring post. This was bad. Nia Jax, then Lash Legend just standing there. I'm like, what is she doing? What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Y'all messed this whole thing up. So, after that, Julia, this is what made me even more frustrated at this segment. Julia tries to go after Nia, but Kiana James is holding her back. Kiana James, you should be just as mad that she did that, and you should be fighting all because Nia Jax is bigger than y'all. Like, no. You're supposed to fight. And she's holding her back. And I'm like, yo, she just smacked your head into the ring apron. Nia Jax and Lash Legend they just stand there. And you guys know, I'm trying to give Lash Legend the benefit of the doubt. I ain't got no personal problem with Lash Legend. I think she's good, but she has to grow an audience. Pairing her with Nia Jax and botching is not the way to go. Now, again, so after this, Julia's being held back by Kiana James. Kiana James then is holding her, and then we go to commercial. Then I'm like, yo, what? So you just let her, I don't know, you just let her get her head smacked in the ring, and then now you're just going to go to commercial break after that. This was, that whole entire ending sequence was bad. It was very, very bad, botched field, and it was bad. We come back from commercial break, we have Solo Sikoa speaking to Bo Dallas, a.k.a. Uncle Howdy. He says, Bo is right, it's more than just a lantern. He says he can see the fireflies across the world, and now they belong to him. He tells Bo that their legacy is in his hands. If they want the Lantern back, they can put up the tag team titles. Solo says he'll take good care of it and says Bo will be with him when he takes out Damian Priest and brings the WWE title back to the family. Again, I don't care nothing about this. I care about Solo Sikoa. I keep telling y'all that. I don't care nothing about this feud. It needs to be over. Who cares if he took the Lantern? Oh, it was supposed to be a sign of disrespect. Man, listen. Don't nobody care about that Lantern. Again, it's a tribute to Bray Wyatt. We get that. But, again, let them be their own group. Again, this is a whole tribute to Bray Wyatt. I don't have a problem with the tribute. I have a problem with the execution, if that makes sense to everybody. We get Cody Rhodes comes out. He makes his way to the ring. Cody says, things feel a bit different tonight. And that's okay. Now, the crowd's booing Cody Rhodes, if you guys don't know. If you guys didn't watch it, the crowd is booing Cody Rhodes. Which I kind of figured because they were chanting, Drew McIntyre. Then they were chanting, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. So it's like they were chanting a whole lot of stuff. So when they was booing him, I was just kind of surprised. I'm like, you guys were just chanting for him at the first segment. But we continue. He admits that the routine was starting to feel episodic, which basically means that he hears everybody online saying that, the quarterback won and him having WWE title going to WrestleMania was a bad thing. It was not a bad thing. You have to give him opponents to make it good. SmackDown was lacking talent from the top. That was why Cody Rhodes' championship reign was hindered a little bit, because John Cena left. That was it after SummerSlam, and they didn't have anybody else to challenge him but Drew McIntyre, because, again, guys, Randy Orton was gone. Jacob Fatu got attacked. They have nobody else over there. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, everybody's gone. They have no guys at the top. That's why they had to call up Trick Williams. They had to call up a lot of the talent because it's lacking. It wasn't Cody Rhodes' fault that he didn't have enough challengers. It was the company not giving him anything. That's not Cody Rhodes' fault. He'd come out, hit the mat 3 times. Everyone was saying, whoa, he walked to the ring as champion acts. What do you want to talk about? He says tonight they're talking about Drew McIntyre. Cody admits he never fully explained why his podcast is called what it is, or why he always asks that question. It was about making the crowd part of the conversation, but he says maybe he got too comfortable. Maybe he didn't see the ways he could lose, or maybe Drew is really that good. Cody asks himself what Shawn Michaels, Steve Austin, and Hulk Hogan all have in common. They're the only men to win the Royal Rumble back to back. I kind of knew once he said what does Shawn Michaels, Steve Austin, and Hogan have back to back. I kind of knew that he was gonna refer to the Royal Rumble. So basically, they win the Royal Rumble back to back. He and only one won it 3 times, which was Stone Cold Steve Austin in a row, which is not true. So I don't think Steve Austin won it 3 years in a row, but. He says, and only one won it 3 times in a row. But I get it, he's saying it in a row, but it kind of sounds like he's saying they won it consecutively, and that's not it. If anybody's confused by that part of the promo. Because I kind of was, then I had to realize that's not what he's saying, but it is what it is. He says he's standing in a city that means a lot to him, where he once wrestled for What Culture Pro Wrestling, that got cheered, and a city that deserves WrestleMania. I'm like, oh man, Cody Rhodes really knows how to get the crowd. Drew claims there's no rematch, so Cody says he'll do it the old-fashioned way. Cody announces he's the first entrant in the Royal Rumble. He then asks again, what do you want to talk about? And says, I want to talk about Jacob Fatu. So he brings up Jacob Fatu. Cody says he saw something in Jacob Fatu, that Jacob understands what a receipt is. Cody says Jacob has the biggest one coming, and he can either come out to the ring to get it, or Cody will find him himself. Again, I thought this was a good in-ring segment. Again, I thought it kind of started off a little bit, because I knew he was going to cut the same promo again. But once he said, this city deserves a WrestleMania, I was like, oh, he's getting the crowd now. He's getting you guys. And What Culture Pro Wrestling, he's getting the crowd. And this city made me. And he's just going, I'm like, oh, man, he's getting you guys. Because now you guys should start cheering for him. Like, now he's just basically getting you guys. So we go backstage. Kathy Kelly interviews Matt Cardona. Kathy asks about his match with Trick Williams. You guys know I love Trick Williams. And his goal of winning the title. Matt says he was hoping to face his friend, but now he could end up facing Drew instead. He points out that Drew's first WWE match was against him, and says they go way back. He talks about having to rediscover himself, just like Cody and Drew did, which is true. Cardona admits he hasn't won a world title yet, but says that's his goal, and he's back to become champion. This is a good backstage promo, but for me, again, I told you guys, when they bring Matt Cardona back into the company, are they going to give him a push? Are they going to give him a little push here and there, and then that's it? Or are they going to give him a push and just have him put over guys and give him the United States title maybe later in the year? Again, we'll see what they're doing with Matt Cardona. It's nice that he's in this match, especially being back. But again, I said last week on my review that he cannot win this match. It has to go to the young guy. You give Trick Williams the experience, then he doesn't win the actual fatal 4-way match at Saturday night's main event. He gets the experience by being there. After that, during WrestleMania time, you would have Trick Williams face off against Carmelo Hayes. That's what you would do with Trick Williams. But now you continuously give Trick Williams the actual experience of being a part of a number one contenders match for a world title and getting closer, but just coming up short to get him even more angry, however you want to book it, and have him face Carmelo Hayes at WrestleMania for the United States Championship and bring back their feud from what they did in NXT. That's the way you book Trick Williams, That's how you book Trick Williams. We get to the end of the match. Trick pulls Matt back into the ring and hits him with a cyclone kick for a near fall. Trick goes for a U-ring, but Matt counters with a DDT. Matt misses the Rough Rider and then lands a knee. Trick fires back with a pounce, followed by a jumping knee for the 3 count. Again, I told you guys that Trick Williams should win this match. This was good back and forth. I like Trick Williams. He has to grow on some people, but again, the crowd, by the way, when he first came out, he made his entrance. I forgot to put this part in. He made that entrance. And when the crowd, because the crowd chants is whoop that Trick. So when he's out there, whoop that Trick, and they're just chanting. And in my mind, I love it because he looks like a superstar. Trick Williams is like a superstar who needs to be the future of the company. When I mean that is multiple world title runs as a heel. He can go back to being a babyface later, but right now he's crushing it as a heel. Because if you guys remember, I didn't really watch NXT like that, but I did see Carmelo Hayes betrayed him. He was a babyface, Trick Williams, and Carmelo Hayes was a heel. So now that Carmelo Hayes is being a babyface, Trick Williams being a heel, it seems like it's pretty fitting, even though Carmelo Hayes is a great heel too. He's actually doing well at being a babyface right now, but he's just great as a heel. But Trick Williams, man, he looks awesome. Trick Williams, he's fantastic to me. I ain't got no problem with Trick Williams. The way they present him, the way he came out with the smoke, and the way the crowd was chanting whoop that Trick, obviously were part of his theme. And then the only part I miss is just Booker T being there. If Booker T was on SmackDown saying, yeah, I like it, what, chanting throughout the entrance, I thought that would have been fantastic. Again, I love Trick Williams, man. He's really a superstar to me. This is a good match between him and Mike Cardona. He's in there with a veteran who's been in the business for over 20 years, 25 years probably now, but this was a good match for Trick Williams, but this is a fantastic presentation for Trick Williams. So after the match, Kit Wilson comes out. That Barbie phone ring, whatever it was, I was like, come on, don't do this. Please don't do this now. So Kit Wilson heads out to the ring, and he stares down Trick Williams, and he continues to keep walking. Then he looks at Matt Cardona. He keeps walking. Then after that, this was funny. I'm not going to lie. Whoever thought about this was funny, even though I roll my eyes at him coming out. But this was funny. So he looks at Mark Cardona. He keeps walking. Mark Cardona is holding his arm. He's holding his head. Whatever he's doing. Holding his shoulder, whatever. And then Kit Wilson hits him in the back of the head. He grabs him. He throws him into the steel steps. After he throws him into the steel steps, he turns around. And he starts walking, and he plays entrance music again. I thought whoever thought about that was fantastic. That was great. Whoever did that, I started laughing. I'm like, yo, whoever thought about that was great. That was really good. I don't care about Kit Wilson, but again, that was good. Whoever thought about that, because that song is kind of annoying. It's like it's kind of like a Barbie and Ken type of song to me. But the crowd was cheering because I guess he's from there. I don't know if he's from there or not. No disrespect. But they're cheering for him, so I guess they really like him. But when he hit him against that steel steps, and he turned his body and kept walking, they played his music, I just started bursting laughing, because I'm just like, that was great. So he started punching him into the steel steps. He struts around the ring afterward. That was fantastic. Again, that was great. So we go backstage. Kathy Kelly interviews Damian Priest about his match tonight. Priest says everyone's been asking about Drew all day, but tonight is about Solo. He says facing Solo isn't the issue, but the real question is whether it'll be one-on-one. He brings up winning the Money in the Bank in London and says if he has to go one-on-one against every one of them, he'll do it again tonight, and he'll do whatever it takes to get back to Drew. We go to commercial break. Now, during his promo, which is a good promo, the crowd is basically talking to Kit Wilson while he's in the ring or whatever. But it was kind of like an overlay, like you could hear too much of the arena instead of Damian Priest. But again, I told you guys, they need to start doing more with Damian Priest, which they are, again. He said in the interview that the company wanted him to do less dates or whatever because, he's getting older and they want his body to go through, I guess, the rigors of the road or however when he said it. But to me, that was a lie. Not him being a liar, but the company's lying. They just didn't have nothing to do for him, and they had no story to write for him. So I thought that was kind of a bad way or a cop-out of them basically doing that. We return with Kit Wilson in the ring, saying everyone knows he's right. There's a problem, and he's the solution. He says people need reinsurance, they need leadership, and they need him. So all of a sudden, Jacob Fatu appears in the ring behind him. And everybody's booing because obviously, the London crowd likes him, but they're booing Jacob Fatu because they already know Kit Wilson's about to get his ass whooped. So while Kit Wilson is busy talking to the crowd, he flexes his arm, he says, Kit Wilson. He's just flexing his arm. And then as soon as he turns around, Jacob Fatu just kicks him in the face, man. He kicks him in the face, he follows up with a back senton and a double jump moonsault. Kit quickly rolls out of the ring while Fatu's basically doing his head. He's shaking his head back and forth. Fatu grabs the mic and calls out Cody Rhodes, telling him if he has something to say about him to bring his punk ass out right now. Cody's music hits. He's coming into the ring, has his jacket on, he's taking his jacket off. Then he's running to the ring, they head into the ring. Cody and Fatu immediately start throwing punches. Fatu drives Cody into the corner with the shoulders. Cody fights back, starts punching, and chaos breaks out. Now, this is the point where I kind of got, again, a little ticked off because I'm like, man, enough of the security angle. I'm tired of the security guard continuously keep coming out over and over again. Who cares about security, man? They don't even look like actual security guards. Security guards are big dudes, 6'3", 6'4". Some guys are brolic, some guys may be huge, chubby, whatever the case may be. These guys are independent wrestlers who are not even tall as the wrestlers. You're supposed to have actual security. I know it's kayfabe and it's wrestling, so you can't have the security guards be bigger than the talent, but damn it, man. If we know it's independent wrestlers, you gotta switch it up. Bring some big guys out there and have them break it up. So they could actually hold these guys back, especially Jacob Fatu. But I just don't get it. Enough with the security angle. But Cody Rhodes, they continuously fight, and Cody Rhodes charges him. After that, Nick Aldis gets in between them. This is why I kind of get annoyed with Nick Aldis standing in between. He's just pointing him and pointing at Jacob and pointing at Cody Rhodes. I'm like, come on, man. We get it. Enough with the security angles. But again, this is a nice little brawl that they did. We went to commercial. After we come back from commercial break, it's announced that Cody Rhodes will face Jacob Fatu at Saturday Night's main event. I'm kind of confused by this because they're fighting each other, but we still have to get down to the culprit of who actually attacked Drew McIntyre, even though attacked Jacob Fatu, I do think that it was Drew McIntyre that attacked Jacob Fatu, but now they're trying to make it seem like it was Cody Rhodes. Listen, I'm not having Cody Rhodes turn heel until after WrestleMania. Right now, people want him to turn heel. The answer is no. It's not time yet. Listen, there's not been a bigger proponent of Cody Rhodes turning heel out of anybody who does reviews on SmackDown except for me. I've been the one saying that Cody Rhodes needed to turn heel, maybe even against John Cena, but that was a little bit too soon. Even The Undertaker, I'll give him his credit. He said Cody Rhodes is a great babyface, but he's even a better heel. And guys, if you watch Cody Rhodes in AEW, there was one particular day when he got attacked and he was out. And he had the blonde hair. When he got attacked, he came back with this jet black hair. And I was like, oh, this is Cody Rhodes as a heel. When Cody Rhodes has this jet black, dark dyed hair, he's the perfect, that look is a heel. Right now, Cody Rhodes being with the blonde hair is babyface Cody. That's fine. I have no problem with the blonde hair. It'll be fine. But when Cody Rhodes turns heel, the company has to recognize this. When Cody Rhodes turns heel, he has to dye his hair back to black. Jet black, dark black. I'm talking about the way it was in AEW when he ascended up from the underneath the stage set. He came up, and when he came up, his hair was jet black, and he had like an all black suit on. I was like, this is the perfect look for Cody Rhodes if he ever turns heel. And in that segment, he came back as a babyface. But this right here, he should not turn into a heel yet. He needs to be a babyface for now. After WrestleMania, maybe during SummerSlam, if he, whatever the storyline's going to be. But right now is not the time to turn Cody Rhodes heel. Have him go to SummerSlam and be a heel, and then go into next year's WrestleMania 43, as being a, quote, heel. But going into this WrestleMania being a heel, no, not yet. It's not time yet. It's almost there, because listen, I've been ready for Cody Rhodes to turn heel for like almost a year now. But the time is not right for Cody Rhodes to be a heel. The time is coming up, but it's just not right now. And if he does turn heel again, he needs to dye his hair jet black. So we get to Damian Priest versus Solo Sikoa. During the match, the referee, Damian Priest goes up to the top rope. This is actually pretty good back and forth between Solo and Damian Priest. Damian Priest goes up to the top rope. He goes to the top rope. The referee's not looking. Obviously, he's distracted. Hikuleo, because I'm not calling him Tangatala. Hikuleo grabs his leg and basically pulls Damian Priest down. Damian Priest gets pulled down. And the referee says, hey, he was up there. He's down now. And he's like, no, I'll fix my watch. Hikuleo saying, I'll fix my watch. He says, no, you, does a little finger thing, and you out of here. The reason why I knew that they were going to do that, I knew they were going to do that because They were going to do that, have him get kicked out, and then have the rest of the YS6 come in and take out the rest of the MFTs and get them out. And then after that, it'll be a one-on-one fair match again. That's when I said, okay, they're going to kick him out so that he doesn't have the dominant hand. And then after that, that's exactly how it played out. So during the match, the lights go out. YS6 are standing on top of the announcer's table. They attack the MFTs. They go away. After that, the lights come back on. Solo and Priest are both down. The YS6 stand announce table, like I just said. Chaos breaks out and they brawl to the crowd. Howdy throws Mateo into security, but Solo fights back, sends Howdy into the announce table. Because after that, Solo was down, so he came out of the ring to basically throw Howdy into the announce table. He grabs the lantern, put it back in the ring. He gets to the ring. Damian Priest grabs him by his neck. South of Heaven chokeslam. Pin 1, 2, 3. After the 3 count, the match is over. Damian Priest is the winner. Again, I predicted that Damian Priest would win this match. He should have won this match because you're going to have Randy Orton be a babyface, Trick Williams be a heel, and nobody wanted Solo Sikoa being in the match closer to the WWE Championship because we've been there and done that. So now we get Damian Priest in the match again. Damian Priest needs this. To me, I would probably have him win it. I'm not sure yet. When we'll get to the end of SmackDown review, I'll see if he should, if my opinion changes or should he win it. So after the match is over, Howdy briefly gets the lantern back, but Hikuleo comes back into the ring and hits a big boot. So they sent him out just for him to come back. Sent him in the backstage just for him to come back out. Hits him with a big boot. Solo Sikoa grabs the lantern from him and they walk back to the back and that was it. So we get a backstage segment with Sami Zayn is walking. Oh, here we go again. So Drew McIntyre stops him. Drew asks Sam if Sami remembers what he said last week and tells him it's a good thing he isn't a betting man. Sami says part of him actually wanted Drew to win. He says he's about to go to war with Ian Dragunov and he plans on winning. He adds that next week he'll win the number 1 contenders match in his hometown and they'll meet again in the Rumble. Drew fires back and says he's beaten Sami 11 times while Sami has 0 wins. He says nothing will change even if Sami makes it to the Royal Rumble. So again, this backstage promo was decent to me. Again, I keep trying to tell you guys that when I look at Sami Zayn and every single time, I'm going to win the World Championship. He says it every single time and he doesn't want to win it. Again, we'll get to the end to figure out who's going to be in the match. But again, this was a good backstage promo between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. It's just Sami Zayn, again, I don't want to say I hate on Sami Zayn because I don't. I like Sami Zayn. Good person, good character, good moral thing. But his character in wrestling, even though I like him better as a babyface, again, Sami Zayn, unless he's a part of the bloodline, him being a heel is just obnoxious, which is the goal. But Sami Zayn being a babyface is on the right side. But they have to do something with him being a babyface, which means that if he wants a world title and you finally give him the world title, just give it to him already. Just give him the world title. Because it's the same thing like Drew McIntyre. It gets repetitive when it comes to a point. It just gets repetitive. So after that, we get the United States Open Challenge. We get Carmelo Hayes versus Leon Slater. This is a good match up until the end. Hayes climbs to the turnbuckle but pauses, clutching his knee. Leon cuts him off with an uppercut and looks for a suplex, but Hayes counters with the super cutter to score a 3 count. Winner of the Carmelo Hayes, he retains the championship. This is a good match between Leon Slater and Carmelo Hayes. Again, Carmelo Hayes is doing a fantastic job with the United States Open Challenge. Again, you get Leon Slater, who's a good wrestler, damn good wrestler. He was really impressive on John Cena's last match, the Last Time Is Now tournament when Gunther faced John Cena as a main event. This was actually really, really good for Carmelo Hayes, continuously showing how good he is. He's babyface again. All this interest, when he puts his arms out, they need pyro. He needs pyro. So we get backstage. Shinsuke Nakamura is watching when Tama Tonga approaches him. Tama tells Nakamura he had his chance in blue. He says when they take the tag titles, the U.S. title will be his. He adds that they go way back, and this is Nakamura's one and only warning. Stay out of the way. Nakamura responds in Japanese and walks off. Again, I don't know what he said because there's no translation, but again, whatever he said is whatever he said. Now we get another backstage segment where Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae are shown backstage. Again, I don't know why Johnny Gargano's on TV. With Johnny talking about how they took out Axiom and Frazier last week. Axiom disappears and tells Johnny to give him his mask back. Johnny says he doesn't have it because he gave it to Candice LeRae because she basically walked off. Johnny turns around and sees another Axiom. Basically, it's Frazier with his mask on. But it's actually an intervention disguise. Frazier punches Johnny and tells him they're wrestling next week, and after that, Axiom will get his mask back. Instead of just fighting him backstage with the mask. He saw the mask before. Just beat him up backstage, take the mask. We had to wait weeks. Let's take a moment here. We had to wait weeks for Johnny Gargano and Axiom to face each other over his mask. By the way, Axiom, when he's backstage talking to Johnny Gargano, do you know what he has on, everybody? He has on a mask. Just a gold or red version, whichever one had which one on. But I'm like, dude, you took his mask. Yes, the mask's supposed to be important. But, yo, you have a mask on, and you've been waiting weeks to fight this dude instead of fighting him backstage and taking your mask back. This makes Axiom look like an idiot. And Johnny Gargano, again, what is his character? Tommaso Ciampa is gone. What is Johnny Gargano with Candice LeRae? Who cares? Just another heel with no character, and that's it. We return with the Obafemi package. They're still teasing Obafemi. Again, I think he's going to be called up on Raw. We get shown that Jade Cargill is sitting ringside. We get Jordynne Grace versus Chelsea Green. The end of the match, Green tries for a kick, but Grace counters with a stretch muffler suplex. Grace then hit direct effect and covers with a jackknife for the 3 count. The winner of the match was Jordynne Grace. After the match, Grace grabs a mic and says hello to Jade. She says she's glad Jade came to watch the match and wants Jade to know what she's coming for. Grace says if watching is enough, fine. But if Jade is tired of babysitting that title, she needs to step into the ring right now. So Jade steps up onto the apron, but Chelsea Green rushes Grace. Grace moves out of the way. Chelsea Green accidentally knocks Jade off the apron with a forearm. Grace then picks up the title belt, looks at Jade, and tosses her the belt. Now, I've been telling you guys, well, first, let's start with Chelsea Green bumping her, and then she falls into the ground and rolls out of the way. That was corny. But I've been telling you guys, I've been wanting this match between Jade Cargill and Jordynne Grace for the longest because of the aesthetic. I told you guys, I like Jade Cargill, I like Jordynne Grace. I want to see this aesthetic. I want to see them go back and forth. Again, I really, really want this match. Just for me personally, I want this match. Because especially when Jordynne Grace had more muscle, I was like, oh, this is perfect. 2 muscular women in the ring fighting each other. But when they fight each other, Jordynne Grace is a great wrestler. So by her being in the ring with Jade Cargill, this makes a lot of sense. I'm glad she's on SmackDown, Jordynne Grace. I like Jordynne Grace a lot, especially when she was in TNA. I checked out her stuff at TNA. But the only problem is she comes here and she automatically gets the women's title shot, which is, again, maybe a good thing. Again, I think they should wait with Trick Williams, get him the experience, but not win the actual Fatal 4-Way. They actually need Jordynne Grace to face Jade Cargill because they don't have nobody else because, again, they're neglecting this division for the tag team division. So this is the only way they have to go. And to me, Jordynne Grace is going to make Jade Cargill look like $1 million. So I had no problem with this. Even though there is a problem with Jordynne Grace getting called up and winning WWE Championship right away, I'll accept it because this is the only way that they can go. Because, again, they have nobody else. Nobody cares about Mi Chin. And I like B-Fat, but they're not doing anything with B-Fat because they're both hurt at the expense of Jade Cargill. We head backstage with Kathy Kelly interviews Trick Williams and asks him about his match next week. Trick says, this is everybody's morning. He says that he's a dog. He looks like money, feels like money because that's exactly what he is. He congratulates Randy and Damian Priest, then says they're about to come face to face with the future. Great promo by Trick Williams again. Very charismatic, if I can say that word properly. Charismatic dude. Trick Williams is awesome. So we get Damian Priest walks in and tells Trick he does a lot of talking. Priest says he doesn't talk too much. He points out that they're both free on Friday and says he'll whoop that Trick. So basically next week will be a triple threat match with determine the number 1 contenders for the women's tag team titles. The Wyatts will face the MFTs for the tag team titles. And by the way, the women in the tag team title matches will be, Last Legend, Nia Jax, Bliss and Flair, and Kiana James and Julia. Now again, why are they together as a team? I'm not going to go another rant about that. But Julia, now they're taking Julia, the Women's United States Championship, and they're putting her with Kiana James, which they need to separate that. And now they're going after the tag titles in the number 1 contenders match. This makes no sense. Again, they're neglecting the women's world title scene, and they're neglecting the women's U.S. title scene. Like, come on, man. This is just ridiculous. It's just another number 1 contenders match 3-way again. Triple H must love his triple threat matches. This is ridiculous. And then after that, we get Trick Williams goes one-on-one with Damian Priest next week. We get to the end of the match. Ian Dragunov connects with a torpedo mascot on the apron. Both men spill onto the floor. Sammy barely beats the count back in. It was 9. He basically got 9.5. I thought that was really 10. She stopped, but that was 10 for Sami Zayn. But anyway, he barely makes the count. He gets back into the ring. Ian Dragunov hits a power bomb that goes to the top rope for a back senton, but Sammy gets his knees up. Sammy responds with an exploder into the turnbuckles, lines it up and nails a hula kick for the 1-2-3. Sami Zayn beats Ian Dragunov again. I know he was going to get his his get back at Ian Dragunov for beating for the United States Championship. They were going to have Ian Dragunov win this anyway. They were not going to do it. Sami Zayn was going to win because this whole rant of being world champion again. But anyway, so Sami Zayn wins the match. After the match, this was good. Trick Williams storms in the ring and blasts Sami Zayn with a Northern Lariat, then follows up with a jumping knee. So at the end of the match, Sami Zayn wins. Trick Williams attacks him, and I thought this was a great way to go off the air by getting Trick Williams more heat. Again, Trick Williams, they're presenting him. Again, this was a good episode of SmackDown. They're presenting him like a star. Jordan Grace looks like $1 million. They need to get this match with her and Jade Cargill going. But overall, I'm glad they had Trick Williams come out and attack Sami Zayn at the end. That was good. Get him more heat and the heat that he deserves. The crowd loves him. He's going to chant, whoop that trick. But again, he needed that to come out there and hit Sami Zayn because the crowd loves Sami Zayn. Some fans boo him, but the crowd loves Sami Zayn. This is a great way to get Trick Williams more heat going into next week and going into Saturday night's main event. This was great. So all in all, for me, this SmackDown was really good. Now, for me, the Fatal 4-Way match that'll be at Saturday night's main event is going to be Randy Orton versus Damian Priest versus Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn. Now, a lot of people are going to say that Sami Zayn should win, face Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble, and when they face the Royal Rumble, it's going to be in Saudi Arabia. Everybody knows that Sami Zayn is over in Saudi, and they should do that match. However, if they're going to do that match, they're going to have Drew McIntyre win because there's no way Triple H is going to have Sami Zayn walking to WrestleMania being WWE Champion. Now, do I think Sami Zayn should win? No. I do think, however, that Sami Zayn should come close to winning, but he gets screwed by somebody, by Drew McIntyre, somebody. I don't know. But how are they going to do it? We're going to see how they do it. It's a Fatal 4-Way match again. Sami Zayn should not win to me, and also who should not win is Trick Williams. Now, people say, well, why? Trick Williams should not win this match because, again, he's not ready yet. And what I mean by ready is don't put him in that spotlight just for him to lose and then mess up his character and not get him enough more heat. What they should do is have him come close to winning. He loses, and then, like I said earlier, have him go face Carmelo Hayes for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. That should be the direction for Trick Williams. This is a great showcase. Even next week, he's going to face Damian Priest, which I would have Trick Williams cheat next week and beat Damian Priest and have Trick Williams win that match against Damian Priest. And if they want to and say, hey, let Damian Priest take the pinfall against Trick Williams, have him beat him, and then after that, at Saturday night's main event, I would have Damian Priest get the victory back because I don't think they're going to do Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. That would be nice too to have Randy Orton run it back. But the two winners of the match should be Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship, or it should be Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest at the Royal Rumble. Again, they're gonna have if Sami Zayn's gonna win this match, they're gonna have him lose again. And Trick Williams, I don't want him to mess up his momentum, so don't have him take the pinfall. In this Fatal 4-Way match, Randy Orton is not going to take the pin. Trick Williams should definitely not take the pin. The only person who's going to take this pin is Sami Zayn, and that's unfortunate, and it's in his hometown, which if I'm WWE, I would actually make this elimination. I wouldn't just make this a straight-up Fatal 4-Way. I'd make an elimination, have Sami Zayn get eliminated. Like, the second person be eliminated. Like, I don't know what they were going to do. Like, I don't know. But it being in Canada, they're going to get a lot of boos. Damian Priest might get booed out of the building, so I don't know what they're going to do. Again, I would not have Sami Zayn win just to go lose. Damian Priest could take the L because he was in a feud with Aleister Black, and he wound up beating Aleister Black in that feud, so it wouldn't hurt Damian Priest unless they have a great match and just a good outing. Or you have Randy Orton win this match, and then after that you have Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, and then Randy Orton loses. It is what it is. We don't know what they're going to do, but overall, this episode of SmackDown was good. It was a great ending with Trick Williams attacking Sami Zayn. It might have felt lackluster to some people, but it was good for me because, again, it's the development of Trick Williams. This is great for Trick Williams and continuously showcasing him. Overall thoughts, I give this show about a 6 to 7 out of 10, 70% rating at the end because it was just, everything flowed smoothly. Again, Johnny Gargano on the back, I didn't really care about that. And Julia and Kiana James, I didn't really care about that. And the YS6, again, I didn't really care about that. Those are really two of the things I didn't like. But other than that, the show was good. It was good for what it was. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel for more great content coming your way. Make sure you put in the comment section down below how you guys felt about SmackDown tonight. And I will see you next time for another SmackDown review. Again, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button to the channel for more great content coming your way. Until next time, guys. See you real soon.